Well, thank you, you young and you. I am just honored and delighted to be up here. I'm here on behalf of the Heritage Foundation. Jim DeMint, our president, our entire staff, we've got a great staff person who presented to you. We love the Heartland Institute. Since I've been with Heritage since 1998, I think it's fair to tell you that I got to know Joe Bast fairly early in my time at Heritage, and I was always impressed with Joe and his staff, and I thought they did great work. I did a lot of work with state legislatures. But when he tackled this topic of global warming, the global warming crisis, I was really very thankful. And I didn't know how long it would last, because, you know, the conservative movement and the libertarian movement is not really inclined to invest in this battle. It's very, very, very hard. And so, Joe, I just want to not only thank you, but I know you have wonderful staff here. Could I ask your staff to stand up? Would everyone who works for the Heartland Institute please stand? It is so important that we thank the people who work so hard to put these conferences together, not just to have a good conference where we can all come together, but to have the right people come together at the right time to energize each other. And Joe, you've done a fabulous job leading not only on this, but so many other areas. And I also want to thank you, and through you, the donors to the Heartland Institute who've made this conference something we've been able to do for 12 years. This is so very important. I can't remember if it's Theodore Roosevelt or Margaret Thatcher or Ronald Reagan. One of those great leaders said, you have to be in the arena. And the battle is always engaged. And Joe and his team and the people who've supported you have been on this battlefront of the global warming crisis, which is no longer, it's now what, extreme weather? Have we come to that? For 12 plus years. I mean, you were doing it before we did the conference, and now 12 years of the conference, and it is something that we want you to know, Joe. We honor you and thank you for doing that. So now, listen, the real reason, the real reason that I was permitted to come up here today, though, is because I'm presenting an award. And one of the wonderful things about this great conference is we get to award people who have done good and great things for the principles in which we believe and we fight for every day. Well, it's my honor today to present an award on behalf of the Heritage Foundation and, of course, Heartland, to someone who is not here. So Joe and I will be presenting this award together to this gentleman as soon as we can get time on his schedule. But he's a busy guy. And you know who he is, Senator John Barrasso. Now, not only is Senator John Barrasso busy because he's a United States Senator from Wyoming, and the Senate is very busy these days on lots of things, but he has now stepped into the leadership shoes of Jim Inhofe. And those are mighty big shoes to fill. He did a marvelous job leading on the climate change issue, and we thought it was very important that we recognize him for his leadership. You know, we can do research, we can come up with the right research, we can make the right intellectual arguments, But when it happens in the United States of America, there's usually a law involved. And you know what that means? That means our work is just beginning when we get the right research and the right arguments put together. Because then we have to elect people like John Barrasso to go into the United States Senate and into the House of Representatives and work together with others to get enough votes to either pass bills, but not too many, or repeal bills, many, many, many. And so when we deliver this plaque to Senator Barrasso and thank him for the work that he has done this past year, we will also be reporting to him on the substance of this conference and remind him that not only does he have a lot of work to do in the coming year, but that he has a wealth of talent represented by the people in this room to help him accomplish the goal that we need to see him accomplish. So when we elect people like Senator Barrasso and President Donald J. Trump, our work is not ended. I don't want to say it's just beginning, because we work very hard to get change and good leaders in place. But it never stops when you get them elected to office. All elected officials want to be able to always be looking to see, are my troops behind me? Are my troops with me? Do I have the support of the people? And if we're not the squeakiest wheel, if we're not constantly there saying we're with you, we want you to go in this direction, if we don't bring along our friends and neighbors and allies and coalitions, I can guarantee you the other side will. And so we want to tell Senator Barrasso thank you when we present him with this great award. We want to tell him to keep up the good work, do more quickly. But we will be there to stand behind you when you're doing what's right. So let's all give a round of applause to Senator John Barrasso. And let's stand up so that when we give him a copy of this video, he will see that this great conference is behind him, supporting him, and will be there to help him do what's right. Thank you very, very much for your time and attention, and now I believe it's over to Mr. Bast.